Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for clicking on this Rank the Movies video. Alright, we are still on Bondathon! We've covered some Connery, we've talked a little bit about George Lazenby, we've mentioned Roger Moore, we've done all of Timothy Dalton, meaning we're moving on to the 5th Bond this week, and that means it is Pierce Brosnan time. So, which of Brosnan's 4 outings as James Bond is my favorite? Well, that one's a pretty easy one. It is Goldeneye. I love this movie. I've loved this movie since it first came out in the mid-90s. It just always has been. It's always been one of those films I just could always get into, and I always liked watching. I think, as I was watching this movie, I did a little research onto the release of all of these Bond films. And from the very beginning with Dr. No all the way up until basically now, because of the pandemic, the new one that's about to come out gets a little close. No Time to Die gets a little close to the same sentiment, but for the longest time, from Dr. No all the way up through License to Kill, Bond movies came out every 2 to 3 years. That's right, there was a new James Bond movie coming out that quickly. So I think that's why a lot of them are just kind of average films, is because, you know, you don't have a lot of time to work on them. You don't get, the people weren't given time to, like, nurture them and create them into something great. Goldeneye had a 6-year hiatus from License to Kill till we reached Goldeneye. And I think it shows. I think it shows on screen that there was a lot more effort put into it. There was a lot more care put into it. There was a lot more thought of how to craft the story and make this a great Bond film. Basically, it's a post-Cold War Bond film, the first. I'm not sure how many more post-Cold War films are that focus on that element, but this one is. Basically, James is going after a MI6 agent who has gone rogue, faked his own death, and is now running a group called the Yanis Syndicate, who has stolen a Russian spy satellite called Goldeneye. The Goldeneye is a satellite capable of releasing an EMP pulse to wipe out all of the technology in a 5-mile radius, I believe is what the movie kind of leads you to believe. Bond is sent out to try to stop Trevlin, who is his former MI6 partner, who is the villain of this movie, from robbing the Bank of England via the internet, and then hitting it with the Goldeneye to wipe out everything that he's done. So he gets to keep the money, and nobody knows he has it. It's a great Bond film. Like, this is an easy plot. Like, I just explained it. It's got some great characters. You get Alan Cumming playing a Russian computer scientist who, like, uses the term slughead for people he doesn't like. You have, Pierce Brosnan is just an amazing actor, and he does such a good job as James Bond. I can't believe I've gone this far into talking about this movie and not talking about Pierce Brosnan. He is a great Bond. He is. He's got a good look to him. He's got that right amount of swagger to him, but still, like, very much, he's a cocky pretty boy, but at the same time he can still clearly get the work done. Famke Johnson plays our main villain's assistant, which is nice. She does a really good job in this movie as Zena Hanatop. And you get Judi Dench in her first outing as M. So it's got a lot of great actors in it. It is such a well-built and well-crafted story. That it kind of just takes you from beginning to end like a great journey should. I love Goldeneye. It is such a great movie. It spawned 2 amazing video games, the Goldeneye for the N64 and Goldeneye Reloaded for the Xbox 360. They're both really fun tellings of this movie in game form. Although watching this one, I did start thinking of big criticism I have of all of the Bond films now, and I'll get into it in even more detail next week. Not because I think the final movie I'm doing is the worst for this. I just, after watching all these Bond films, I think it's just going to be a general criticism, but I'll wait until I get to the end before I lay out a general full franchise criticism here. But yeah, Goldeneye's a great movie. I really I want to try to complain or say what doesn't work in this film, but I don't think there is. I think it's a fun ride. It's not, is it a great movie? Is it one of the greatest films ever shot? No, but it's a fun movie. And I think you really enjoy it, even just as its own action spy movie, not so much in, even held apart from the Bond films. I think it is still a very strong movie, and it's definitely one worth checking out. Alright, well, it was a short one this week. Next week, come back for the final installment of Bondathon. I got one more James Bond movie to talk about, and it's going to star the last and current James Bond. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to make sure you don't miss any content, and I will see you next time.